Hello everyone. Makobura, habari ya usiku ama habari ya jioni ama habari ya usiku?
Okay, thank you. Good evening. I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Siku yangu iko salama. Iko vyema.
Yeah.
So nashukuru tu, on my side sioni mambo mengi.
Hiyo ni vizuri. Yes. Labda tuseme kwamba siku yako ilikuwa vipi?
Siku yangu imekuwa nzuri. Sijaona mabaya. Kama kawaida tumekuwa tukipambana na sijaona mabaya yote leo. Mambo imekuwa salama, kazi kama kawaida. Na ni hali ya kawaida.
Msema ni hali ya kawaida. Unajua, jana tulikuwa tunazungumza hapa na ndugu yetu Barak akasema kwamba hali si hali. na nikamwambia kuna mziki ambao mimi naikumbuka, yani ukipata hali si hali inamaanisha kuwa hali si nzuri sana. Unajua kuna ile tuko hali si mbaya, lakini hali si hali hiyo inakaa ni hali ni pabaya, yani iko pabaya sana.
Acha nizungumuze basi kwa Kiswahili. Najua mambo ya dunia ni mengi na kila inapokucha mambo, each and every new day you will always find something either new or something that you had ever dealt with. Now based on the experience you dealt with it, that is what you can now apply, or you perfect it based on what you had ever done before. Okay. So mimi naweza sema kila siku ni siku ya kujua ama each and every day is a new day, and we get to interact with new things. We get to interact with new people, new society. I mean, the same society, but of course meeting different people with different perspective, different reasoning, and it is a way of learning. It is also a challenge. In one way or another, it helps us to to soldier on and to make decisions which are proper.
Okay, thank you. One of the things that I would say, like especially when welcoming new day, because like each and every day comes with their challenges, so as they come with their challenges, now you have to be prepared for that day, the disappointments or gains or losses that you might get that day. But like it's just prepared psychologically in mind. Like you have to have this strong mind, that I have to do it, especially if you are the sole provider or you are the person who like watu wanakutegemea, tunasema hivyo kwa Kiswahili. So it gives you that energy to drive, even though the challenges might be so hard, but like because you know that there are people who are expecting from you, especially the people who are dear to you, they're looking up to you, and like you are the person who's going to solve those, then it gives you that energy to soldier on, so that is life. I agree with you. Every day, kila uchao, kila siku ina mambo yake. Thank you so much, Makubura. Today we want to discuss about few things here of what has happened. Remember yesterday, there are some remarks that the former president made, especially criticizing the government of Kenya Kwanza. But today, the allies of the president, that is President William Ruto allies, fired back at former President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta for criticizing the government of Kenya Kwanza. And we will look into that. But before we go to that, I want to know your opinion on this. I was watching this clip, and especially these are people from Nakuru. I don't know whether we have those from Nakuru here watching us. I saw Governor of Nakuru. I don't know how old is this clip, but it seems to be new. Um, Even if it is old, but it has something. There was a tap. I don't know whether you've come across that clip.
Which kindly expand on the clip so that I can.
So the clip, it was a clip. There was Governor of Nakuru, and he was talking to the residents, and they were residents, and even I think like the experts in his or the his assist his assistants, those who are facilitating her, like those who are assisting her in her duties. They're talking about water, on how water can come to a certain kilometers, and they wanted to open this tap. I don't know whether they were launching the tap or no. But even after explaining that, so like they tried to open the tap, the water did not come out. And what really, really made me feel very bad, or made me feel that like even like sometimes the voters do not know what is happening. When the governor was like going to open the tap together with the lady who was there, they started to clap. Ooh, to their surprise, the water did not come out. Hebu niambie, what can you say about that? Wameanza kucheka na maji haikutokea kwa mfereji.
I saw that. I
Ehe,
didn't really spend much time on it. But what
yeah.
I can say, I think this is a normal strategy that has been used by the political class.
Mhm.
And I think it's unfortunate. If you remember the discussion we had yesterday, we did
Yeah.
mention that our politicians wanabeba wananchi utoto ama ufala. I don't know which one really fits. They think that they're dealing with a group of people or a group of citizens who are not learned, who do not
Mhm.
have any knowledge. They
Mm.
think that the society,
Yeah.
you know, uh, does not have a say on what they do, and that is
No.
why we are seeing a lot of misbehavior. That is why we are seeing a lot of um, misconduct. That is why we are seeing a lot of kiburi. Let me put it so. That is why we are seeing all these kind of behaviors from the political class,
Yeah.
because back in their mind, the power that they have has really gotten into their minds, and they don't really want to reason, or they don't want to put that themselves in the shoes of
Mhm.
the common wananchi. So it's such an unfortunate thing.
Yeah.
And this is not the first time that we are seeing that. We've seen governors going to launch footbridge. We've seen
Mm.
governor going to launch, hata maji. This is not the first time. It is a common thing that we've always seen. Not just the governors. We've seen even the president. We've seen the deputy president going to launch roads which are not there.
Mhm.
We've seen them. It's a political strategy that the political class are trying to use, and
Mm.
unfortunately, it is not really working.
Mm.
I mean, it is just exposing the negativity in the political class.
Mhm.
It is just exposing what we call lack of no lack of good leadership.
Okay, let me just share the link with Joseph. I just see him right now. Continue. Let me just share with him the link.
So it is such an unfortunate thing that
Mhm.
we have leaders who really do not care. They spend a
Mm.
lot of money, actually public money, promising the people that they are going to do some serious projects, but the end product has always been I can say an abuse to the people of Kenya,
Mm.
because it is I don't know how can you explain. If you look into that project, I can tell you, you will be told that millions of money were used.
Yeah.
And something else is, the level of audacity that is in them. They know very well that hakuna kitu hapo. Yeah? Hakuna. But they have the audacity to
Ma-
wanaanza
ma-
hata kushangilia, and the question you ask is, kwani wanaona watu aje? I think
Hapana, wacha nikuambie jambo ambalo nime add Joseph for me please. Jambo ambalo nimegundua ni hivi kwamba is Joseph okay, let me make this. Jambo ambalo nimegundua ni kwamba jambo ambalo nimegundua ni kwamba let me set this. There's one that usually does well with us. So I can do this for meantime as I look up. Joseph, how are you doing?
How are you, my brother? How are you? How have you been?
I'm,
Nice haircut.
thank you. You don't sleep.
No, I was even preparing to get some rest. I remembered I need to talk to brother Marco Bura and tell him kesho wasiende. Unajua nasikia wanaenda returning of the gun.
Oh,
So I'm advising them they cool down there, they drink some water. Nasikia wako na makasiriko sana bwana. Sikia mambo iko mzuri.
kuna I don't know this song, is it by is a reggae musician, Cool Down Your Pace for Me Little Woman. I don't know whether
Mm.
is night.
You're rocking too much for me. Inakoga ya nani ya Greg Washington, McGregor. Naitagwa
Oh,
nani McGregor, huyu alikuwa anaita Night Nurse.
oh yeah.
Naitagwa nani? He's called who? Namsahau jina. He died. Greg Washington. Greg what?
Is it Gregor Sanchez?
Ni Greg. Si McGregor anaitago
Gregory
alikufa
Isaac.
huyu jamaa. Huyu alikuwa anavaa tu God Papa, alikuwa ameimba Night Nurse.
It's Gregory Isaac. Who?
Gregory Isaac. Gregory Isaacs. I
Yeah.
don't know if Makobura anajua Gregory Isaac man.
Marco Bura, do you know Gregory Isaac?
I know that song you say.
hebu kaimbe hiyo nini tena.
I know
Cool
that.
down your pace for me, little man.
Cool down, cool
You're
down.
rocking too fast for me.
I've heard it.
And also,
Unfortunately, I'm not.
he also did the sad to know that you are leaving. Right there.
I do like those songs, and
I like the one he says, but not the one. Is not his song. But I like another song that says, "Love is like driving." You have ever heard that song? That song is very good. Love is like driving. When I don't know, when you get married, you get your love certificate. That song.
Oh,
Was,
I know how it is. Okay. So let me we were just talking about there's a clip that we were talking about, especially from the good county of Nakuru, and Makubura had already given his view on it. I don't know, Joseph, if you did come across this video where the governor of Nakuru was going to, I don't know whether she was going to launch a tap or she was just going to to inspect to know whether the waters are coming out of the tap. So she was talking to this lady by the tap, and he had hides around there. So when she was going to open, to open the tap for water to come out, like people started clapping, but I did not see water coming out. And I say, like, if it is not working, you know very well it is not working. Why going there and maybe embarrass yourself?
I think they are rushing too much to show what they have done. You know,
Mm.
we are in the final stretch
Yeah.
of this same administration, and also administration, it refers to all the administrations, because we have
Mm.
the main administration, which is the national government, and the other one is the county government administration. That's why they have ministers who are called CECs, who
Mhm.
work in hand with the governor. So I think they're in the last stretch of showing what they have done as governors so that they can
Yes.
get a re-election. So I think they are going to do anything, even they are going to go and open a toilet, because they just want to show what they have done. So I think that is very unfortunate for her, because You know, the problem with Susan Keheka, she had started to abuse the media and saying that they focus only on the bad things that she says, on the
Mm,
bad things that they do. So I think that one caught her off guard because
yeah.
when you open a tap and water even is not coming, even better you could have opened the tap and water coming out than not opening it and water not coming out.
And even if you look at the tap, I don't think like it was so tight. And in Kiswahili we say that tunahisi sana kuigiza si kwa maisha ya halisia. Unajua, like we are acting movies uh, on some of the issues that are very very much crucial on that affect the life of the citizen. The PR, the rate at which sometimes we have this PR with the leaders, to an extent, even like doing something that is going to cost you. When you look at this age and era, this I call it the camera era. You know, the camera are always on the lenses. We call them the lenses. The lenses will always zoom you in. They zoom you. So you have to be very careful, especially when you are doing kind of this project. The lenses will even capture something that you are not even expecting the lens to capture. So you
And,
have to be
and
very articulative on what you are doing and very smart on what you're doing, so that when the lenses zoom on you, they capture what is going to assist you, but not what put you negatively, especially in the social media world.
and it's very unfortunate that she's a governor of a city.
A city.
You know, Nakuru is a city. Nakuru is not another town. It
Hmm.
has upgraded its environs to a city. I
Hmm.
expect her to be performing more of the
Hmm.
city type. You know, when you are governor and yours is not declared a city, I think you can be doing those things that she was doing. But now, how can you be opening taps and your county, one of the town was declared a city, and you're still opening very useless projects? That one is left for the MCAs to open. When you open for taps, what will the MCAs open then? Because you say you are going to be launching taps and you know the things that a governor is supposed to be launching is things like drilled boreholes, where you find that they have used certain amount of money, like more than millions of money to drill the water. But
The
for
way.
a tap which is it's very disgusting for and she's going to talk bad to people and tell them that hawajui kile wanasema, but we clearly see what is happening. When you hear that a certain governor also is telling you that I'm going to bring you a wheelbarrow ambayo inakata sijui itakuwa ikifanya nini na nini, it has multipurpose, itakuwa mpaka ikisiaga mahindi. You
Mm.
wonder what is this guy taking us for a ride for. You hear another one, even she has brought a curtains for 600,000. You wonder what is this that happens in the country. It's very
Uh-huh.
unfortunate and very sad because money is being used for the wrong purpose. I got shocked that one governor brought a crate of soda for 1 million. Each crate of soda, I
Oh
think it
yeah,
was
I,
going
I
for
can
one
remember.
million. I think,
I think that one was it Garissa or which one?
yeah, it was in Northeastern that he
It
was
was one
bringing a
of the
crate of
counties.
soda 1 million.
Yeah, a county. You
It was
you
very
know
unfortunate because these people do not have water and is bringing.
you know what we are. We are very good in spending, especially on things that do not matter so much. Yeah, we are
Yeah,
luxurious. We live lavish life.
but
We
I think it's not about luxury, brother Benson. So I think it's about uh, spending money and stealing public coffers. I
so.
think it's about stealing public because if you look at those things that are being told,
Mm,
it has been put there so that they can be able to siphon the funds. They don't do
yeah.
that because that they are using it to do other things for them. They are stealing the money for themselves. Do you hear a certain governor was found that her child was found with an account with more than 500 million? That is a half a billion.
Huh?
They was yeah. Nani Waititu. Waititu son was
Oh.
found. His daughter was found with how much money in the account? A half a
Mm,
billion. Half a
mhm.
billion. Do you imagine half a billion what it means? That the
That
governor has bought property in town which are worth. It's very sad and it's very unfortunate that people can siphon public funds
But
just like that.
at some point, I think like we has made it as an habit, especially in our in our Kenyan context, because like even when you elect a new member of parliament, or not even in the political position, even on these offices, when somebody is brought into the office, your sole your sole responsibility is to see how you can enrich yourself quite much faster. You could even see like let's say like somebody's just an accountant, maybe accountant one, majorly dealing with bookkeeping sometimes in some of the government offices, but just give him 3 years. Within 3 years, you will not imagine.
Yes, and you find some of these leaders, they hold people hostage. Like, we can talk about so many of the MPs. We can talk about
Mm,
Kasapul. We can talk
mm,
about so many areas. You find that these people have hold people hostage of because they have money. You find
mm,
that when they come, they are going to do anything they want. They are going to have. That's where even Gunism is coming in,
yeah.
because if you have the kind of money that, unajua pesa ikikuwa mingi sana, brother Benson, inaanza
Mm,
kuchanganya akili, inakuharibu akili. That's why you
okay.
can see somebody talking to citizens the way he wants, and he can even try to buy people so that he can be good, so that he can be fighting his wars. But I know certainly the people who don't do work to their constituencies, and the people who don't do work for their counties, they
Hmm.
start having these things of, I'm going to own goons so that I'm going to terrorize the people, so that they are going to be doing what I want. So I think it's very unfortunate that Kenya has come to this. We need
Yeah.
a long overhaul on everything that we are doing, because corruption has really made us to suffer in the country.
No, I have a show. I'm coming. I'll see you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about
Yes,
that. Makobura,
yes, yes.
would you mind continue with Joseph?
Okay, okay.
Uh,
Yes,
I'm
so
just I'm coming in a minute.
okay.
Yeah.
Uh, so Joseph, I've had your explanation, and it's a question that people are actually asking themselves that mbona hawa mbona hawa wakubwa wanatubeba ufala? Why are they doing things which are not making sense? Deep down, they know that those things are not making sense, but they still come out and they use a lot of money in doing those things which are not making sense. At what point then are we going to? I mean, are they going to stop these particular things? Because remember, we are at a point where the anger in the citizens of the Republic of Kenya, they don't, you do things as a leader, they keep quiet, but when they feel that they can no longer keep quiet, they will always get out and fight for themselves. Was that not a lesson that was gotten by the political class?
I think what we have done, brother Mark, we have become intolerant. That's why you can find a certain CS can talk about a certain ministry, and is not involved in that ministry. I think Kenyans have become intolerant, that anything that we are, that people can talk to us anything. You can find a health CS is talking about security. You can find a security CS is talking about water. So even they don't know which line of work they are handling. And that's why we have all these kind of problems, because the people who have been put there as the people who are going to be the watchdog of what we of these projects and of everything that is happening in the country. All of them, they are just doing this for the money. And you'll see, just check at the places where these people are staying. Just go
Mm.
and check at how many houses have been bought in Karen. People are
Yeah.
buying land and property in these certain places, high end places, Karen, Lavington, Lunda. You know the kind of places, Mudaiga. You find them there because when you have money, and truly you have siphoned the money, you not even stay in that kijiji. There is one MCA, our MCA, who was from Riruta there. I think you know him, that guy, brother Benson. He's the one
Mhm.
who killed the wife. You know that MCA, and he was arrested. There was an MCA called Juakali from
Oh.
Riruta. Yeah, You know, when he entered, my friend, that guy campaigned. Every day we could hear his songs. Every day he was the songs were ringing on on our ears in the morning, in the lunchtime, and in the evening. Walikuwa wanatupatia kama dose.
Those.
Breakfast, supper na breakfast, lunch na supper. But I'm telling you, when this guy entered in that, he won that seat.
Mhm.
My friend hatukumuona tena, alihama akaenda Lavington.
Mm.
Tulikuwa tunamsikilia huko za hewani. So
Mm.
this is what happens to the leaders. That's why don't let us never say that parliament is we always say parliament ati imerogwa. Ikuwagi imerogwa. What happens is because when you enter there, zile pesa zinakupata brother Benson, unachanganyikiwa. Ile pesa
Unachanganyikiwa.
kwanza, kile kibunda unapatio mara ya kwanza, unaambiwa ati tumeenda tuko sitini ya kwanza, tumeambiwa tupitishe bill fulani, unaambiwa hiyo ni kamia. Unasikia umepata 1,100. Unaona mpaka kijana yetu Sirasia siku hizi ni kama akili nini bwana kidogo.
Unajua, by the way, you've mentioned about Salasia. Like Salasia is so quiet, and his activeness has slowed down. I'm not even seeing him so much active on social media. Remembering those days that he used to show us what he's doing, but like he has become so much quiet. What could be the problem? And I'm seeing our good friend Mudhamaki Daudi. How are you doing, Mr. Mudhamaki Daudi?
Just call him King David. He's a short
Oh,
form of King David.
oh, Mudhamaki ni King David. King
Uh,
David, how are you doing? So, like Peter Salasia is his life has, is not the Salasia we used to know. Very hype, that motivation, like people would interact with him. Like he has gone silent on social media too.
yeah. And I will tell you, money corrupts everything. And money corrupts so many individuals.
Ame-
Hata brother Mark hapa akiweza ingie huko MP, sijui tutakuwa tukimuona hewani, atakuwa sky team.
Oh, yeah, hata kikuwa Sky Team, what we will do, tutakuwa tunamchambua sisi, hatujali, tutakuwa tunampiga kabisa.
Na si yeye tu, hata mimi nikiingia kule bwana, kibunda iingie bwana, unasikia unapatiwa. Brother Benson, do you know that you are being told we are going for a sitting? I'm giving you 100,000 for that sitting to pass the bill. Then
Mm,
after it comes another bill, you are told I'm going to give you 50,000. Brother,
mm.
at the end of the month umepata karibu 1,300 na
Which is
hujafanyia kazi, you have not
mm,
sweat for it, and you're
mm,
still waiting for the salary. Ndio unasikia many of them they have become evil. That's why you hear them saying that we entered here because of the party. Tuko hapa juu ya
ndio
chama.
chama.
We are
Okay.
not here because of the citizens. So I think it's money that is corrupting people, and it's not all about at parliament imerogwa ama nini. Money is the root of all
Mm,
evils, but we need it. But now we need to know how to. But I think there is a guy who was talking. Me, I don't like to talk to say that, but Kenya needs somebody who is somehow very very strict on these things, because
mm.
corruption imeenda to all places, not only even in leaders. It
Yeah.
is in all sectors, even in teachers and everywhere.
No, I think our society in general, we are corrupt, because like even when we are going to get those government services, at least lazima ujihami na kakitu kingine kwa mfuko, nasema kama ni mbaya naweza toa hii kitu yangu isukume, kitu ya kusukuma na mambo ya China, vitu kama hizo. Nadhani that's why now that's good. Okay, Makubura, let's also give a view on this, especially because you are the Gen Z and you're the people who are on the street actually, um, who on the street and saying that okay, things have to change. And how will things change if this is what happened to former Chief Justice Maraga? Maraga was having a consultative meetings in Mombasa this Friday, and majority of young people who came to that meeting were disappointed when they realized that, or when the Chief Justice, former Chief Justice, told them that, okay, I'm not going to provide you with a fare to go back home. You are in the consultative meeting, but
Yeah.
now,
So okay, thank you so much. I think to me, I actually like what Maraga did, because
mm, mm,
this narrative of if you meet a politician or if you meet somebody who has ever held a public office, then they have to give you something. I think
Mm.
it's a narrative that should not be allowed,
Yeah.
or we should not encourage it, because
Mhm.
it spoils the characters and the thinking and the behaviors of the youths,
Yeah.
and it makes them to somehow forget being responsible, to make them not work hard,
Mhm.
because their expectation, because of that level of expectation.
Mhm.
But again, it is still a challenge. I think the issue of bribe, or the issue of giving something to the citizen,
Mhm.
especially when you're a public figure, it is not going to stop. And part of
Yeah,
the
it's not
reason why
going
it is
to.
not going to stop
Mhm.
is because the level of this high level of poverty in Kenya, there is high
Mhm.
level of unemployment in Kenya, and the level of suffering in the society is on another level. So what I
Yeah.
can say is that if you know, in a country where kila mtu siku hizi, if you ask any youth that what will you do, suppose you get to work in any government ministry, and you hear that there's something nasty that is happening on matters
Mhm.
to do with you remember what happened with Kemsa.
Yeah.
People are just walking around, and then they're told there's some tender here, and money was also there, and all those kind of things. So
Mm.
if you try story and speak about such kind of things, a youth will tell you that it is not very easy to
Mm.
resist attempts of corruption, and majority of people will also tell you that
Mhm.
the urge of stop. I mean, there's high urge of
Mm.
people wanting to own, or wanting to have money, or wanting to get to a position where they can sustain and they can have
Mm.
something that
Mm.
specifically money that can assist them in running their daily activities.
Mhm.
That is what is there, and the reason why they are thinking this way is because
Mm.
they have gone to school, they have done what they need to do, but the
Mm.
society does not have a place for them, in the sense that the society does not have an environment for them to exercise their skills, and so that they can be able to afford their daily needs. But in
So,
contrary, or
uh-huh.
in the other hand, we are also
Mhm.
seeing a group of people who are not even professionals,
Mhm.
people who have risen to ranks,
Mhm.
not because of their level of education, not
Mm.
because of their level of expertise, but
Mm.
by the virtue of them knowing someone big in the government or someone big in the political limelight. They've
Mhm.
been given those opportunities, and this is what really hungers the youths and the people of Kenya.
Okay.
There has
Makuburi.
been a neglect of
Mhm.
professionalism,
Okay.
and that has
But
eroded
now,
partly their character.
what you are saying is correct 100%. Lack of jobs and how some of these opportunities have been squandered by people who are in higher ranks, or we might say that people who have decided to hold this opportunity for the young people to access them. But you see, this is a leader who is coming with a new um, kind of politics, art of politics, whereby he's calling people on consultative meeting. Let us come and have a conversation. And the conversation we are going to have, among other things, we are going to make sure that you get these jobs. Among other things, we are going to make sure that the issue of bribery and corruption, or the money transaction, especially when it comes to politics, let's come together, because I tend to believe when this consultative meeting was called, it was an open. Anybody was invited. All were invited. So it means you had to find your way in that consultative forum. You know, it is quite much different with what I say that Makura, I want to facilitate three boys to come, or specific people that I want to talk to, and I will facilitate their movement. And then at the point when now the consultative is over, then I say that I don't want to have money. That is quite much different. But this was an open forum that everybody could come. But now you find still what we've been talking about of how we can deal with the issue of electing somebody not of because of the money that he have, but the issues that he's bringing. And now the young people who were disappointed, not all, but a few of them were disappointed that, okay, how are we going to get out of here? I don't think it was the fair here, but they needed something.
Yeah, so what the youths needed, just like I did mention, there has been a narrative that has been driven across that once you're called by a politician, once you're called by someone who has held a public office,
Yeah,
then they have to give you something. The society is setting that, and of course, the political class are the ones who have enabled that to happen.
yeah,
Naturally, just like I did mention, remember these youths, they have, they have their needs, and remember, they want to eat. And at the same time, some of them do not have money to afford their basic needs. So if they hear that there's some public figure, someone who has held a public position, someone who is
yeah.
a politician, they have in their mind that we might get 50 bob, we might get 100 shillings
Mhm.
from it. But again, also have to, there's also issue of drug that has also gotten into the youths, not because they
Mhm.
want, but because of the high level of depression that they do go
Mhm.
through
Yeah.
on a daily basis based on the circumstances in the society. So,
Mhm.
once people have gotten to a point where they are addicts of this kind of drugs,
Mhm.
they will always take their time to wait or to listen even the whole day, so long as
Yeah.
they're promised they will be given something that they can use to quench their thirst of the addictions that they are going through. So
Mhm.
that was barely the expectation. And I'm quite sure that if you would have told them that he was not going to give them something, I can tell you those people would not even have listened to him. They would have all
Okay.
left, or probably few of them would have been left there. So it
Okay.
is not that the youths really do not want to listen,
Mhm.
but the situation out there is the one forcing them to change their characters and to behave in a manner that is not reflecting the true values that are there in our constitution and the people who came up, with the visions of this country.
Okay, thank you so much, Joseph. Maybe you can also weigh your thoughts here about these young people who they feel disappointed that we came for consultative meeting, but now we are not getting or we are not finding a way on how we can facilitate ourselves. Um, can we also justify that they were right in their own way? Because like some of them might not be having the money, but they came to listen to Maraga.
Yes, thank you for that question. I want to ask a question to you.
Yeah,
Which day was that? Which
this
day
was
of the week was it?
this was Friday. This was Friday. The youths who attended a consultative meeting forum held by Chief Justice David Maraga in Mombasa on Friday were disappointed. You know
You
that.
know why I asked which date was that one?
Mhm.
Because the day is a weekday. It's a day that people are supposed to be working.
Yes.
So you cannot be you're holding a consolidative uh, forum on a
Mhm.
weekday,
Mhm.
and people have come to listen to what you are saying. You
Mhm.
know, I don't know Kenya. Kenya is a very strange country that in the weekday you can be having campaigns running
Mhm.
through and people having forums and people are not at work. I think the thing that made those people angry, they could
Mhm.
have listened to him, but what they made them angry is because unakuja tunakaa hapa alafu umetukalisha kutoka asubuhi, maybe utaenda jioni na sisi tutaenda kwa manyumba zetu, hata mtu labda ana unga ama hata ana nini. I don't blame them. You know, we are living in a society which people don't have work, people are unemployed, people are living below poverty, and maybe they felt ni kubaya. So even if mkubwa unajua anaitagwa mkubwa amepitia
Mhm.
hapa, lakini haja tuachie hata
And, and,
kitu
and,
hata kamia tupate ya unga jioni. So I think, Maraga does not know how Kenya politics work. Kenya politics don't work that. The way
Yeah.
he's trying to work, he's working in a democracy that has already evolved. You cannot compare US politics and Kenya politics.
Mm.
US has taken more than 200 years to evolve.
Yeah.
Its democracy has taken more than 200 years. The
Mm.
Britain has taken even more years than even the US,
Mm.
because Britain were the ones who colonized the US.
Yeah.
So how can you be able to come and rate that you are going to be like the Democrats, the Republicans, that people are going to fund your campaign, and your people, and when they come to the campaign, people are coming just to hear what you are saying.
Mm.
Kenyans are hungry, my brother. They are going to come there. They are hungry. They want to eat, and then
Yeah.
umeshinda umeweka hapo. We are still
Mm.
in a third world country which is
Mm.
struggling with democracy. There is somebody who
Mm.
asked me a question. There's
Mm.
somebody who asked me a question. Which democratic countries are in the third world that are doing well? Show me
Mm.
any country that is in the third world that is doing well with democracy. You will not find many of them, and that's why many of them you see nowadays. You are seeing there is protesting, government being toppled down because of what? They are going through a revolution that happened in the US. Also,
Ah.
US went through a revolution which was about the civil war. You fought the civil war. The people there fought the civil war. Why were they fighting about the civil war? It was not all about a team. We want to bloodshed. It was
Mhm.
all about resources, all about uniting the country. So US also has passed through some dark times. You cannot come and compare them with us. As we are still a maturing, we are 60 years for Christ's sake. We still have
Okay.
another 140 years to go before we know
Okay.
our potential. So I think
Mm.
that is the reason. That is the reason that people are saying yes, his politics are good and they are clean.
Mhm.
But do we have clean politics in Kenya? That's the question. We
Okay.
certainly have clean politics.
Which means we are moving too fast.
No, he's making us to move very fast, and we have
Oh,
not reached that
can,
level.
can,
We are still.
can this one be informed by the fact that our constitution, uh, good percentage of it was borrowed from this country, so we wanted it to work the same way it's working in the those countries that they were borrowed
Yeah,
from?
that is a very good question and a very good analysis you have done there. We
Yeah.
borrowed the constitution from countries which have already proceeded with their democracy. We
Hmm.
borrowed our constitution from Britain and the US.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make our constitution rush. Ni kama unaenda unanunua kagari ka 110 kamzee, ama tuseme tulikuwa tunaitwa Datsun, alafu unajaribu kuiweka injini ya V8. Hiyo
Mm.
gari itatoka mabati brother, itaweza kutembea vizuri. So that is the same thing that they did. We are doing that into our country. Tumejaribu
Yeah.
kuweka injini mpya, lakini mabati ni ile ile bwana ya njogoo,
Yeah.
kidole moja ya jogoo. So we need to go by our pace. I don't get angry by saying Kenya is going places, but
Hmm.
what we are doing, we are going at our own pace. Because even if you check at the African countries that are our neighbors, we are
Hmm.
still pursuing our things through that pace. And you can check even countries in Asia. Most
Hmm.
of them, they are undergoing the same things we are undergoing. Not all of them in Asia, you can say they have developed. Some of them, they are trying, because being a third world country, to move it up to a second world country
Yeah.
is not a joke. It means that all your citizens are catered for, and all your
Hmm.
citizens can be able to afford a meal. Kenya, we cannot even afford, people are not even affording 3 meals in a day.
In a day.
Some are affording only 1 meal in a day. Some even are not even affording the meal.
Hmm.
So emeritus ni sawa hivyo, politics unajaribu kuzileta clean politics, lakini
Hmm.
clean politics Kenya hazijai work, because you just be having your clean politics, alafu kuje mwingine amwage pesa kwa kiwanja, ni hivyo atakuangusha tu mara hiyo. So that is what happens in the country, but I think this one will work eventually,
Hmm.
maybe with our great grandchildren. They are going to
Okay.
be working this system together. But I
Okay.
also I also I also want to add about the constitution. The
Hmm.
constitution, our constitution is a perfect constitution.
Hmm.
The problem is
They
utilizing it,
implemented.
or implementing it.
Hmm.
Implementing it is not a joke, because that constitution was so splendid. If
Hmm.
you look at it, or if you look at for example, I give you one thing.
mhm,
We have a pure presidential system.
mhm.
I think that is what is in the US, pure presidential system.
System,
Why
yeah.
is the why isn't it the pure presidential system working in our country that we have to say that we need to have a post for a prime minister and I have a post for an opposition which will be having an office? You know, it's like we are going back to the constitution which was olden. We try
I, I,
to fit those
I,
things.
Joseph, I think the reason for that is that we've always believed on this, and I might be wrong, and even somebody who is watching us can also weigh his thoughts on that. We as a country, we always believed on positions, and these positions are like the roots that are holding us, especially like tribes, or the we call it the political players, because they believe that if I am coming from the Luo region, for somebody like me, or I'm coming especially from Kisumu County, so they believe that provided that I've been given a position, so all the Kisumu people have that position is theirs. So it is me to see, or what am I going to do with this position. So we will not care so much about uh, the issues that are affecting those people, provided that I've been given. So it is my responsibility that has been given this position to make sure that the region that I'm coming from, with almost even like around 2 million, that I have to make sure that I solve their issues with that position. That's why you see that we are talking about this position. That is one. Secondly, we also believe that these positions are the what unifies us according to the people in the political class. And that's why you find that if we are having those tough moments, and there's a committee or there's a negotiation that has been brokered between the warring or between the disagreeing parties, the first conversation that will be, we will think of it, how can we create positions so that we create half, everybody gets his share, everybody goes, so that we can solve the challenges that we are going through. So those are the two issues that I think, like, you find that the issue of position usually takes place, or usually find itself in the top of the list of our conversation, especially when we are having crisis.
I think also you have just stated what we are, Brother Benson, in that thing you have said. We are
Mm,
still a third world country.
mm,
Because when you enter to the leagues of the second world and the first world countries, you
mm,
will not be thinking about huyu mtu amepewa kiti ni
mm,
ya kiti ya nini ya constituency mzima ama ya sehemu mzima. That's why
uh,
you see I'm saying you see the problem also comes with there is one thing you have forgotten to say.
yeah.
We still have bodies that are not doing the work that they are mandated with. That's why you
Mhm,
see we have wars about these positions. The
mhm,
IBC that is mandated with our elections, it is not free and fair. It is
yeah.
always biased. And
Mhm,
it's always having some loopholes that you see the people don't believe in the elections. That's why you can see in a place like US, the president who was a Democrat, the previous president who was a Democrat, he was defeated. The candidate who they were supporting was defeated by a Republican, and there was no any too much ati sita hata sitakuja kunini kupatiana nini, say not come inauguration. No, it's you. If you are defeated, you're defeated hands down. The college is right. So kama umeshindwa ni hands down, wewe patia
mm,
ule mwingine anakuja akuja. But do you think in Kenya that one can happen? It's always, that's why I'm saying we are still struggling. The thing that I've seen is a place like Zambia.
yeah.
Zambia, I see, is like their democracy is growing a bit, because you see even
Okay.
the president. Let me ask you, Brother Benson, in Kenya, which elections have the candidate considered, presidential candidate? Which elections were considered?
I remember Uhuru, it's only Uhuru Kenyatta who have considered defeat.
Yeah, nobody has ever considered elections.
Yeah,
It's only
especially in this
Uhuru
presidential
Kenyatta.
election. It's only Uhuru Kenyatta who was considered defeat in the presidential
Yes,
election.
so that is what is happening in our country. Imagine you have never considered defeats in the elections, and you have
Mm,
never agreed the elections were. The only election we say it was free is only that one, 2002. So imagine about our democracy.
yeah.
Our constitution is not functioning, brother. It is not,
Okay.
because it is not the way it was intended by the people who are bringing it up. They
Mhm,
were, they, you know. we are very good as Kenyans. We like ambition, and
Mm,
ambition is the key to success. But
mhm,
ambition also, when you put a greater ambition, it can
mm,
make your certain achievements collide. I think now our achievements are colliding somehow because we made
mhm.
very big achievements. We made very big ambitions, but
Yeah,
the achievements that we are doing is taking a long step than the one we thought it could take. You know,
oh,
when the framers of the constitution were thinking about the constitution, they were thinking of a country where everybody will be having his own majimbo, that
majimbo.
nobody will be wanting to go ati tunataka kusikia national government, ati
Mhm,
tunataka kusikia ati tunaenda kuombaomba pesa kwa national government, that will
mhm,
be having a person who is in the constituents in the county, who knows the problems of our county, that is going to make us being built roads. But brother, what do we see in nowadays? People are
mhm.
always going to state house to get, I don't know, development funds. That's why I say, as we were making this constitution, I think we could have seen those loopholes. And you know how we could have seen those loopholes? I think we could have brought them that the national government must
Mhm,
not be must not say that they are going to send the money when they want. They must be mandated to send the money to the counties to do their development, and it is a must. That's why we are failing as a nation, because we have brought in so many people with so many positions, but the problem is we are still continuing the same problems because we did not articulate the issues of the constitution as carefully as we did. Now, what we are doing, Brother Benson, now we are
mhm.
thinking about changing the constitution now again. You hear we are
Okay.
still thinking about changing of the clauses. We want to
Yeah.
bring, those officers you are going to bring about official opposition
Mhm.
with his ministers. That is a shadow cabinet. We are
Yeah.
going back
Yeah.
to what we had with the Moi era, shadow
Mm.
cabinet.
Okay. Yep. Okay. We will continue having such like conversation. There's also something that I want you to weigh your thoughts, Makobura. And if you're watching us for the very first time, this is Brother Benson Media. And if you're watching for the first time, just hit the subscription button. It's for free. So when we're having conversation like this, YouTube will always notify you so you can join the conversation. I'm also seeing Tony Cruz is watching us from Facebook. Thank you so much, Mr. Tony, for your support. We really, really appreciate. And I know we need to go and discuss about the president allies who are fired back at the former president after attacking the Kenya Kwanza government. We are coming to that. This is something that is also quite much interesting. And this, I found it, I don't know how true it is, but I will quote it. This is what Silvanus Osoro said on 25th of September. I quote, I want to warn Gen Z that the police recruitment is around the corner, and you must remember that your online background will be thoroughly checked. If on your Facebook or WhatsApp groups you have written the word one term or posted statements that appear to insult or undermine the government, please delete them immediately. You cannot be recruited as a police officer if you have been seen constantly attacking government. Protect your chances now and prepare yourself well. I can quote it again, Makobura. If
And
I
I've,
quote,
I've, I've had it. Allow me to comment on it. Ah, as a young person in the Republic of Kenya, if you
Mhm,
want it, we can bring it on as a people as well.
mhm,
It's just a worker of the government working on behalf of the people of Kenya.
mhm,
The Constitution of the Republic of Kenya is very clear.
mhm.
And to me, I think I think we should actually take the CS to court
This
because
is
that
this
is one.
this is not CS. This is a member of
That
parliament.
is not, yes, that is Gunset.
Oh, yeah, I mean the person who brought forth those statements.
Mm,
I think it should be taken to court because that is first discrimination. The constitution is very clear that
mhm,
you are allowed to have your opinion, you are allowed to have political alienation. It is your decision. Once you are 18, you have that freedom. And again, the constitution is very clear that you fight for. If you see something is not right, you have to voice
mhm,
you have to speak against it. Against it. When you see the people that you woke up, you elected,
mhm,
they are not performing their duties, you have a right as a Kenyan citizen. The constitution is very clear on that.
mhm,
And so whoever is coming with those kind of statements, I heard this is actually not the first time that you are hearing of such kind of threats that, oh, if you want the government to work as well, you have, you are not supposed to criticize the government. The question we are asking is, so does it mean that only relatives of those people who are supporting the government, relatives of the president and the cabinet secretary and those people in his government, are the
Mhm.
only ones who are supposed to be given the opportunity? I think that is discrimination of the highest order, and such kind of statement are statements which are violating the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. They are violating the rights of the people of Kenya, and at the same time, they are
Mhm.
their words or their statements which are dividing the people of Kenya. And
Mhm.
also, I can say it is, it is, it might cause a lot of harm to the country if we
Okay.
continue with such kind of statements
Yeah.
coming especially from our leaders.
My point of departure with him is about one thing here. We have government and we have the administration. We have government of Kenya. The government of Kenya usually doesn't change. It has always remained a government of Kenya. But what has always changed is about the administration that is coming in. We had Moi regime, we had uh, Kibaki regime, we had Uhuru regime. Now we have President William Ruto regime or President William Ruto administration. Right now, President William administration is are the drivers of the nation of the government of Kenya as we speak today, and the constitution has given the mandate that they will run it for 5 years. Then after that 5 years, they will seek another term, which is defined for like you have to go for 2 terms, but not consecutively. It depends on how you campaign and the people vote you in, the people who are the majority that has like that. So when you say that, if you've written that, what if I don't agree with you? Okay, I've deleted them and I got that job. Yet I know inside me or in me that maybe I'm not supporting that government. How is that one? So I think as leaders, I think this if it's indeed, because this is a quote, this was something that he said on 25th, as you say that it is also that freedom of expression and freedom to associate, who to associate with. It is a political, everybody, they are politically affiliated. That's why we have the Azimio, that's why we have the DCP, we have all these political parties, so that anybody who feels that there's a particular party or a particular coalition that they feel they should join, they join at will. But that one does not deny you a chance, even if you don't agree with the government of the day, does not deny you a chance as a Kenyan citizen to get a job with your government that you pay tax on. So I think like here, the member of parliament was out of order. Joseph, what do you think?
Yeah, I heard him talk about that. It's very unfortunate. But one thing I'm going to pick a bone with, who is Osoro? Who is it talking on behalf of recruitment of police? He's not he's not the police spokesman. He's
Mm-hmm.
not the IG. He's not the DIG. He's
Mm-hmm.
not he's not even in any arm of the police unit. So how can he be giving us lectures about how people are going to be given police recruitment? So
Mm-hmm.
it's just understating that police recruitment has not been free and fair. If that is what he's saying, he needs to
Mm-hmm.
come out and say it has been free and fair. And it's very mind-boggling that a certain MP can talk like that and is a leader, and you cannot hear any statement from the police service. It is very unfortunate because police service was supposed to release their statement and say no, we don't support any idea of this MP. That one
Yeah.
is him talking alone. But I cannot also brush Osoro,
Mm.
because Osoro is a kitchen wale wanaitwa kitchen nini, they are inside the kitchen. They know what is happening, and they
Mm.
know what is happening with the current affairs.
Mm.
When you see them talking, just know that is they are talking about their master has told them to come and speak like that.
But
But sasa shida ni when you
mm,
tell somebody ati atoe hizo post za kile amekuwa akisema sijui one term or something, will you remove that one in the heart? Najua
That's,
unaweza toa hiyo kitu kwa mtandao ama kila kitu, but kwa roho yako bado iko na hiyo kitu.
na hiyo ndio swali ambao nilikuwa nauliza. Sasa wewe utajua aje? Ndio hiyo, labda umepata katika mtandao wake alikuwa anaandika jambo kama hilo, na wenda kawa kaenda kazivuta kabisa mpaka zionekani, labda uko na labda chombo ambacho unapima mwenyewe, ukakuja ukapima moyo wake ama ukapima akili zake, ukajua kwamba huu sasa amebadilika na what about wale ambao labda wanasema tu tamaa nayo wamekubaliwa kuingia kupata nafasi kwa kazi ya polisi?
One thing that I'll say as a Mansa Renewe is that I admire this generation of Akina Marco Bura. They are very resilient. They are a resilient generation. You can try to pin them down the way you want. You can even try to tell them they remove those things that they are going to remove in the mtandao or whatever. But I'm telling you, when those guys enter, and I think coming days we are going to be having a problem with the police unit. As we are trending, I think it's going to be a very dangerous ground, because I think so many of the people who are going to be recruited this year, Brother Benson, mimi na wewe hatuwezi ingia polisi. Miaka imeshaenda. So the people who can enter the police service are kina Mark and maybe Miguda. If Miguda miaka haijaenda sana. Those are the people who are going to be seeking for these things for the police force. And you know what they have been doing, the youth, the Gen Z, what they have been doing. So when you say that ati hawatakuja kupatia hiyo nafasi, hawa ni wajanja sana, wataenda watoa hizo vitu wafanye kila kitu, but when they enter there, wewe utasikia tu wakiimba wakiwa huko ndani, utasikia one tap. So wakiimba hivyo kama waimbe vile wanataka, utafanya nini? Na huyo mtu ni yeye anafaa kupatia nini ulinzi, is supposed to guard you. You know, that is the same thing that is happening to the military. It's so unfortunate. It's very unfortunate that me I was to enter the police force. I was to enter the AP side. But at that time when they came to pick us, I was not there. But the way we were chosen for that AP, ilikuwa ni kipendeleo, because that lady who was the chief there aliita vijana wake wote akasema mimi nitawapatia chance. So you see, when they were going to be picked at, ati ilichukuliwa kwa minajili ya ati tumekuja recruitment tukachukuliwa. Ilikuwa ni wewe, tunajuana, sijui nini kuja. See, so that is what is happening to the country. And it's not only even with Gen Z and kutoa one time, it's happening with so many things. You find even when you come and you are asked your tribe, they check your tribe and they say wewe tribe yako wewe hapana, or they check nini, kasema wengine mpaka wanasemaga ati hauna meno. Nauliza, polisi anaingia police force ndio aweze kuuma watu ama anaingia police force ndio aweze kuserve watu? When you come and tell me ati meno yangu yote haijafika 32 na ati sitapita hiyo nini ya polisi, ati juu sijafika, sina meno yote 32. Unashindwa huyo mtu anakuja kunini. Alafu kitu kingine, it's very worrisome. Unaonaga wale watu unaambia polisi unafaa kuwa physically fit, lakini ukiangalia wadosi wenyewe hata wakianza kunini ni noma sana. So these things leave Osoro, is just a mouth person. He likes to speak things, but he does not even consult with his brain. He just speaks things without consulting his brain first.
And then something that sometimes we have to remind our leaders, sometimes I usually reflect back during the time when President William Ruto was a victim. There's some of the things that sometimes we create them ourselves, and after creating them, then we want to find solution for them. You might disagree with President William Ruto on how he runs his political art and all that, but at some point, as a human being, what President William Ruto went through, especially during the administration of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, it was a hell. I remember when, I don't know, he was going at the coast and he was told the house is still under renovation, so he did not, his security had to be downsized. The other day he gave them tea and all and President William Ruto was so smart during those days that if something like that happens to him, he take advantage of them and run get credit and sympathy out of that. And now today, like I'm seeing, I remember people like even Junet Mohammed during the time when President William Ruto, President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta was working with Raila. Things that they said about the president right now, that's why I tell you, hii politics bana, usiweke
But
kwa roho.
you know why me I don't believe William Ruto so much. You know is what? One
Yeah.
thing that makes me not believe him is if you had done all those terrible things, why do you come and do it to the people who helped you fight this war? Because there is the soldiers who helped you fight this war. Why do you come and do the same things to them? You know that
No,
one is the one that changes my mind about thinking that he was done all those things. Because when you see people that helped him in campaigning and all these things, because you know them, you know the people who helped him in this campaigning, they even left and they started even abusing the person who was coming from their community. And at a certain stance, you come and you start fighting with them. You know, it does not make sense to me.
no, to me, like I usually to see these two scenarios that happened. For example, when you look at what has really happened between Rigathi Gachagua, President William Ruto, Raila, Kalonzo Musyoka, and all the stakeholders or the people who played in that politics. You know, there are people who really worked smart, yeah, and are
Yeah,
enjoying now. For instance, look at it this way. If you look at the context, I mean, like the competition that was between President William Ruto and Raila Molo Odinga, it was neck to neck, and it was full of high voltage politics. Gashagwa included, because like Gashagwa would say that Gashagwa assisted President William Ruto to get into power. The same way Kalonzo also and the Martha Karua, they all um, work together with the Right Honorable Prime Minister to be where they are, even to get the position that they got. But along the way, somebody worked smart.
yes, it's okay working smart, but you know the problem is
Yeah.
don't work smart then also lie to people. You
Mm.
know people, but it's okay. You can lie to people. You know people are not going to know because till now we have never known what happened between
Yeah.
Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto. We
And
don't clearly know, and we don't know what happened between Ruto and Gachagua. You cannot clearly tell, and you don't know what happened between Raila Odinga and Ruto. You
yeah.
cannot clearly tell. So these are things I think they always like to play these gimmicks. I think even they like to put the country under tension when we are going for elections. You know, when the country is under, let me tell you, brother Benson, when you are going for for elections,
Yeah.
there is always a cash crunch. Don't you see? There is always a cash crunch in the country.
Hmm.
Hakuna pesa. Where do you think that all this money goes? And we are always being taxed and something.
Hmm.
I think they always try to gamble with our money. That's why they want it to be heated up. You see, even now we are going for a 2027 election, which is going to be highly heated up. So,
Yeah.
which year has the election never been heated up in the country?
No,
It's
no
only
idea.
one. I
Well,
think it's only one. Only in 2002, it was
the one
not
for
that much heated up. But
yeah.
in these other ones, just go and look. 207, too much heated up. 2013 it was even worse. 2017 ikakuwa mambo ingine, hata Maraga ka nullify. Tukakuja
Mhm.
2022, it was even now even the worst one now. Now we are
Mhm.
going to another one. I
Mhm.
think they always try to tend to put the country into a frenzy and into a your tension mode. That's why you see even I think even the electoral commission has the IEBC has a role to play in here.
Like,
I think
okay.
also they are told to delay the elections, so that we can be having that tension. And as you
Tension
hear,
iende juu.
iende juu. Ndio unaona after wametoka tulikuja tukaambiwa na Ruto aje na administration yao, there was no money in the coffers. You remember?
Yeah.
Tuliambiwa kuna pesa ilikuwa kwa coffers. And
Mhm.
when leave alone 2013, 2027, 2017, because the person was seeking for a second term. But
Mhm.
as Kibaki was leaving, you
Mhm.
really had they were trying to say sometimes that Kibaki amefanya ameleta nini. They wanted to
Mm.
bring in all these things. So I think even 2007 it will be the same thing. Utasikia wakisema ameharibu sijui nini na nini. I think they
Depending
have put
depending on the outcome.
yeah, I think they try to put tension in the country, and that one, not only even tension, they try to make us always in campaign mode. Unajua
Okay.
mkiwa campaign mode, kuna wakati mkiwa campaign mode hakuna kitu itafanyika, watu watakuwa wakiangalia ile kitu inafanyika kwa ground, and
Watu watakuwa
that is why. But
yeah.
now the real problem is Wakenya wamekuwa wajanja sasa. Wakenya
Okay.
wanakuangalia na maps. Wakenya wanakuangalia na marks. First where I come from, they are looking them with marks. Wanakuangalia na darubini. What have you done for us?
Good.
What have
Uh,
you done this and so and so and so? If you have not done that, brother,
good.
tutaona moto.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Joseph. And Makobura, I think we will do, we have only two that then we will close. Then I hope tomorrow we will also come here to have a discussion. Now, Natembea today had a very warm reception, especially in Vihiga, where he was. And he toured through Luanda Market. Then he was again, and he went through, where did I read that? No, Natembea went through Luanda, yeah. Then we went through Luanda, Nambale, then Vihiga, and he went somewhere called Mudete, where he was installed as a lawyer king's person, and he was given the regalia of power to be the lawyer spokesperson. And the most interesting part of it is that he was in Sabatia, and Sabatia, where he was, that's where Mudavadi is coming from. And this is like he's taking up that the uh, leadership now in the door of Musalia Mudavadi, and it was installed by some elders in that community. What does that one show, especially uh, on Natembea side, Makobura?
Okay. Thank you so much. What I can say is that Natembea and Eugene Wamalwa,
Mhm,
they've always been seen as currently the strong opposition in the Western Kenya, and there has been consistent fights within the DAP Kenya,
mhm,
and part of that is because of what is happening in the power angles between those people who are supporting that Eugene maintains being the party leader.
mhm,
At the same time, that those people who believes that Natembea can make a good leader, that he has a charming a way of doing politics, and at the same time, being that he just got into politics the other day, he
yeah,
is seen as a crowd, someone who can who knows how to manage the crowds.
mhm,
So being that is also coming out as someone who has a political stand and a
mhm,
firm person. And remember, Kenya currently wants a leader who is uh, who has stance. It wants a leader who has what we call consistency, and I think Natembeya has come out as one who has those kind of qualities.
mhm,
And remember, he was also one of those people who were mentioned by the Gen Zs or the youths that should he be given an opportunity together with Matiang'i, that they can make a good leadership. Because
mhm,
currently, remember him coming from the forces side or the police side, the mentality or the teaching or the knowledge that they are being taught is one of implementation with orders. And
mhm,
so that is part of the good thing that the people are seeing in him. But
okay.
again, in the Western region, him being given that opportunity, I think it is just a way of trying to strengthen the opposition side. But again,
Mhm,
remember the Western, that is the lower region, currently do not really have a leader who is consistent, a leader who can speak entirely on behalf of the people of Loya. And I think Natembeya is simply positioning himself and is working smartly to ensure that he can convince the people and maybe in future speak
Mhm.
on matters affecting the whole region. So it is a threat to Mudavadi. It is a threat to Etangula, being that they're the most senior politicians in that area, and also being that they're in government.
Mhm.
So the focus currently is the focus of Natembeya in politics is I've seen him attacking Mudavadi, we've seen him attacking Wetangula and asking them that, well, you are telling us to continue supporting this. You are the second. There's a time he mentioned that the speaker is the third most powerful person. And what has he done? What has he done? I mean, do ni nini amefanya huko Uluyani? Which kind of
Mhm.
projects has he negotiated? And those are very valid reasons that, I mean, questions that he's bringing forth. And
Mhm.
partly, I think, is the people are also not seeing any productivity in continuing to support the so-called Mudavadi and Wetangula.
Okay, thank you so much. And something that also I might add on Natembeya, especially looking at Eugene Wamala. I think like Eugene Wamala has been sleeping on the job as a party leader of DAP Kenya because, and this one will cost him. And the reason why is that in the future, before we go for the next general election, Natembeya will be having his own political party. And that is what Natembeya is trying to do. Because if you listen to his speech, among other things, he took a swipe at Mudavadi and Wetangula. He talked about some of the jobs that they're doing, jobs for, especially for chief, whereby he was comparing like you are bringing empowerment and, like you come and give like uh, the residents or the people who are there 100 shillings and telling them to dance and all that, is hitting in them hard. Then another thing also that I saw with Natembeya is that like he was talking to these elders and they've also advised him to go around in Bungoma, meet the elders in Bungoma, go in Kakamega, meet the elders in Kakamega, and also do so in Busia, so that he can consolidate his following. So by the time he will be moving out of Eugene Wamalwa's party, which is coming, is something that I'm 100% sure, because I don't think the by Eugene Wamala being that party leader, he cannot make it more popular than how he has done it, and I don't think he will allow Natembeya to hold that party as the flag bearer or as the we call them as the franchise, somebody who become the face of the party. I don't think Eugene Wamala is going to accept that. So by not accepting that, that's why Natembeya is trying to make these inroads that you are seeing in the Western Kenya. And if you look at the crowd, the reception that he got, especially from Luanda, coming all the way to Nambale, then to Vihiga, it was a massive crowd. So that is something that also not Oparanya, but like Mudavadi and Wetangula, whom he keep on attacking. He has never attacked Oparanya, by the way. I've never seen Natembeya attacking Oparanya in his political, ever since he came up with Tawi movement. He has never attacked Oparanya. Joseph, what do you think?
Yeah, thank you for that analysis and brother Mark namhurumia sana, naona akijiguza. Naona mtu akijiguza hapa nyuma, unasikia ni kama kausingizi kanataka kuleta shida.
Mark, Mark,
So-
Mark, Mark, or you can relax. We will close in the next few minutes. You can go relax. Thank you. Tusikakuwe
Mi
so
ni Gen Z, mi ni Gen Z.
jenzi na usingizi na kuchapa ile mzuri.
Gen Z anaweza enda hata mpaka kesho.
Okay.
So I can just say only two things about Natembeya. One, I'll talk about him as the way he's making inroads in Western Kenya, and the other one I'll talk about DAP Kenya. One for Natembeya, I think he has tried to bring himself as the person who is going to be elected in Western. But you know, the problem with Western is the politics is so much divided.
Mm.
We were talking with you in the morning, and you told me Oparanya has a strong backing in
Yeah,
Western, in Kakamega.
Kakamega,
And
yes.
when you look at Bugoma, also it's very highly divided. You know, Joe Bungoma, they have been voting for the existing government. Even when Uhuru was standing, the Bungoma ilimpatia kura mingi. So, and then when you go to Vihiga, Vihiga is where you find Musalia Mudavadi is getting a lot of support kidogo in the last election. So, and when you go to Trans Nzoia, you know, the kingpin Natembea is still there, but they voted for Raila. You know, Raila was the one who was taking most of the votes in Western. And I think of now, sasa mambo imegeuka, because when you go like Bungoma, you
Mm-hmm.
find the bullfighter himself, uh, it's called who?
No,
Boni
one
Kalwale.
is in Kakamega. Halwale is in Kakamega.
Kakamega, sorry, Kakamega. In
Mm-hmm.
Kakamega, you find the bullfighter is also has his own people. When you go to Didmas Baraza there in the area of
The Bungoma.
Kiminini, Bungoma Kiminini, you find that he still has some backing. When you go to Salasia, in his sides there, you find that he has some backing. So I think Western is like highly have every area you go, you find somebody is more popular in one area, another one you find more popular. Even if Natembea goes and consolidate
Mm.
all these elders, I
Mm.
think it is very hard for Western, the only thing that can happen is only if the government does not deliver on them and they get angry and say they are going to vote the government out. But for this saying that you are going to be kingpin of Western, hiyo
Mhm.
mambo ni ngumu sana, kwa sababu saizi hata watu wa Bungoma utapata wengine wana support Wetangula.
Yes,
So
true.
yeah, so it's very hard for
Mhm.
Western politics is always very tricky. Western politics si kama ya Ukambani ama
Yeah.
ya Nyanza ama ya kule Central ama ya kule, hata unajua coast is more easier than Western. Coast politics is more easier than Western. And then I wanted
Mhm.
to, before you interject me, I wanted to talk about DAP.
Yeah, okay.
DAP Kenya is going to fall like the way you are saying. You're prophesying it for it to fail, and I see it is going to fail. And
Yeah.
it's not going just to fail. It might not fail. What it will do, they will kick out Wamalo. They can try to kick him out, because you remember who is there. There is this guy called Wamunyinyi. You remember
Wamunyinyi.
Wamunyinyi is the person who tried to take over Ford Kenya. Then he was
Ac-
chased away.
Actually, even like if you look at Moses Wetangula today, is holding Ford Kenya on a conservatory order.
Yeah, because Wamunyinyi, they tried to take over the party, and I
Mm-hmm.
think also they are going to try and take and topple up Wamalwa, because
Yeah.
you know you know why they are going to topple him up. They see what is he bringing exactly. What is Wamalwa bringing? You know me, I've never understood what Wamalwa game plan is, because I've never known what he's bringing in the table. But I can understand Natembea.
Mhm.
Natembea can be bringing Trans Nzoia. What is
Yeah.
Wamalwa bringing? You know, that is the main agenda. So the people like Akina Wamunyinyi can be looking at this one and saying, afadhali tukue na Tembea akiwa ni yeye party flag bearer wetu, because he
Mm.
can bring some of the MPs from Trans Nzoia County, and us as other guys, we can try to marshal up this vote.
Mhm.
You know, the problem is unajua kile wanafanyia huko, brother Benson.
Yeah.
Western, they are not looking for a kingpin. They are looking at the party which is controlling, which is going to dominate,
Mm-hmm.
after ODM has left, because ODM dominated Western politics. But
Not
now it is
really.
simply
You, you know, when you're looking at domination of ODM in Western, sorry to cut you off, but like when you look at the voting pattern of Western on how they've been voting Raila Amolo Odinga, apart from the day when there was the real Kijana Wamalwa, you know, when you come to Vihiga, Vihiga, you know, Vihiga borders, especially Kisumu. You come to Luanda Market, where he started his journey towards Nambale. That is kind of like Cosmo, you know, because when you leave Maseno campus, actually the fence to the Maseno immediately close on the other side. You are in Vihiga County. There was some this time. There was also this misunderstanding that Maseno was falling in Vihiga County, and they fought it either is in Kisumu or Vihiga. There was some
You
boundary
know why,
dispute.
Brother Benson, I'm saying what I'm saying? I look at it with the MPs.
Mhm.
Like when you go to Vihiga and you look at the MPs who are there and you look at the senator of Vihiga. Who is the senator of Vihiga?
The senator of Vihiga is Ososti.
Yeah, and he's from ODM.
Is from
You know,
ODM.
when I look at those things concerning the MPs, I look at it as ODM. They got most of the members of parliament, I think, from Western,
Okay,
even
that's
in
why
the last time.
it will be like this. If you look at Western has like it has Vihiga, it has Kakamega, it has Bungoma, it has Trans Nzoia, it has which one again? Uh,
Kitale is where? Kitale is not
Busia.
part of it. Busia,
Yeah.
Busia. Kitale is
So
in
no,
Busia.
Kitale, Trans Nzoia is in Kitale, is in Western.
Sorry.
Yeah, they classify. So when you look at all these counties on all these counties, we look at Busia. Busia have always voted ODM, and this is because the intermarriage that is between the Luos and the Luyas who in Samia, Port Victoria, and all that, and Sega there. Then come to Luanda, you know, come to Vihiga. Just imagine you are passing Maseno. You are in Maseno. Maseno is in Kisumu County. Then come to Luanda is in Vihiga. From Luanda, you're coming to Odera Kango. You see that how it is. So you see like the voting
Yes.
pattern, how the voting pattern will happen. Now, then come to Busia, the same thing. And then Kakamega. So there are two counties that have never, ODM has never done so good in those two counties so well. That is the Bungoma and Trans Nzoia. When you look at the Trans Nzoia County, it's only Caleb Amisi who is a member of ODM. So
Mm.
it tells you how the Trans Nzoia County definitely is not so much leaning towards ODM together with Bungoma.
Yeah,
Even
but
the
but
time
but I think the three counties are. If you look at the which is the most densely populated counties in Western?
the most densely populated, I think it be Kakamega
Yes, because I think Kakamega and Vihiga and Bungoma,
and
I think, or
Bungoma.
which one? Yeah, I think
Mm.
they are densely. So I don't know about Western politics well. I just analyze Western and Nyanza politics. If you ask me about Ukambani and these other parts, I'll tell you well. I'm so confused because when you tell me Rwanda is near the border, you get confused, but
Yeah, even even
you try to
even
analyze it in a simpler way so that the people can understand.
yeah, even you were coming from Kisumu. Let me say you're coming to Kisumu, you're going to Kakamega. You're coming from Kisumu, you will be in Kiboswa. Yeah. Immediately
Mm.
Kiboswa, then you get Nyang'ori. Yeah. So
Yes,
they will tell you Nyang'ori is in Viga. But the distance between Kiboswa and Nyang'ori High School around that area. And
is that's why I said I want you to come and make and we try a visit there so that I understand the topography. I want even to come and understand Nyanza region politics.
uh, so
I visited those places when I was young, so I cannot tell you clearly. Like Kisumu, I came when I was around how many years? Maybe I was very young. I was maybe 15 years.
mhm.
Sikuwa naelewa vizuri at that time. Unajua hata saa hizo si vile alichukua waerevu. Unajua we are not like these kids of nowadays. Hiyo wakati hatukuwa na mambo na masimu na nini, so
Mm,
we were just relying on even it's good that my grandfather ni yeye alikuwa anapeleka lori hiyo wakati akafanya tuende huko tukatembee, so he
eh,
was taking some steel there in Kisumu, so we understood alikuwa anafanyia kazi Muhindi, so we went to
mm,
visit there some while and that's how I came to understand these areas hata Kitale. So for the politics of DAP,
yeah,
I know DAP itakuwa na coup. DAP
yeah.
might have a coup. And
Yeah, if not having a coup, what will happen is that the DAP, because from the look of things, somebody who seems now to be very influential in DAP is Natebea. Because when you look at what Wamala brings, I think Wamala also comes with the name, you know, because based on how the brother, the bigger Kijana Wamalwa was with the politics, remember when he was the deputy president, uh, uh, he had a name, and the Queen's English and all that. That could have played a part, and kind of like when he inherited that name, because like until his brother's death, nobody knew him, that there is somebody called
But
Eugene
do you
Wamalwa.
know, Brother Benson, those guys, they work very hard. You know,
Yeah.
where did Mudi Awori come from? Which
Uh,
region?
Mudi Awori. Mudi Awori, I don't know which county is coming from.
Because that guy was a real worker. You know, Mudi Awori and Kijana Wamalwa, they were great workers.
No,
Mudi
those ones,
Awori really reformed the police,
yeah,
the cells
prisons,
in our country.
the prisons. That's
Yeah,
something I
he really
remember.
reformed. He
Yeah,
really reformed them. He really worked as a. I think even when you ask me which the vice presidents that I've seen working, I
yeah.
think the vice president that I saw in full, you know, I cannot tell you about Kibaki Sana and Moye, but I can tell you about Kijana Mudi Awori.
Mudi
Kijana
Awori. Yeah,
Wamali, I can tell him about him because he was very eloquent and he could
yeah.
articulate his issues. But
Mm,
I saw even the wedding of Kijana Wamalwa, the late. He was a guy who was full of, you know, alikuwa mjamaa ametulia na and all that, so he
mm,
was a likable person. But for Mudi Awori, he reformed the prison. I think those guys, they
mm.
are workers, and I would like to know from which region he came from.
Let
Nowadays
me.
is when we are seeing they are bringing leaders who we don't understand. But at that time they had very good leaders, and I think Western ilikosa leaders wazuri sana. The likes of Akina Kijana Wamalwa and the likes of Akina Mudi. But I think
Mm,
also Wamalwa is not eating with the name of the brother because I think he
uh,
has hajaweza kufikisha hiyo kipimo ya brother yake. Unajua angeweza
mm,
kufikisha hiyo kipimo ya brother yake na azidi
mm, mm,
sana, watu walikuwa wanampenda because he could be having the name and also he has done something for them. You know, when he was the Minister of Defense, he
mhm.
did not even make so many of the people from his area get employment
Yeah,
to the armed
yeah,
forces.
yeah. I think Mudi Awori is coming from Busia County, Funyula, because I'm made to understand there's a brother of him who stays in Uganda.
Yeah, he really worked. That guy was sharp. I really admired him. Do you know
Yeah,
he changed the reforms even? You know, prisons long time ago, brother, they were like death camp. Ukiingia
yeah,
prison umeingia kifo. But he came
yeah.
and developed, even they were given new buses. Unajua,
The
ungeona vile
TV.
wahukumi walikuwa wanapelekwa kwa cell, hata ungestuka.
Yeah,
Even the meals that they were eating.
yeah,
So I think he reformed, but these things come with a person who is ready to work for the people. We have
yeah.
seen so many people who have ready to work for the people, and they have really
Yeah,
worked for them.
I agree with you. Sometimes there are people who are just that is their gifting in a way, in just to make sure that they change the life of the people, especially based on the responsibility that they are given. Because let's say, like, if we can get somebody like Modi Awori today in government, um, and he can do marvelous, and
Yeah.
there are so many people who have done well, especially when they're given the responsibility to serve the people of Kenya.
Also, this guy called Saitoti, he really worked for the people.
Mm,
You can take examples of people who they did very, very. Me, I always say Kenya, the soil in Kenya can, if they can open the soil and the soil talk to us, it can
yeah.
tell you the kind of people that we lost. We have
Mm,
lost so many great leaders that could have been of so much importance to our
it
country.
was. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, ni kama shetani anatakaga tubakie na wale wabaya, anataka kutuendelea wale wazuri, sijui. It's like the earth likes to take
Mm,
sisi shetani pole, Mungu anataka kutuchukulia wale wazuri,
eh,
alafu shetani anaendelea kutuwekea tu wale wabaya waendelee kutudhurumu. But
eh,
I think also as we are going on, you see the Gen Zs akina Mark, they're really going to. That's why I told you, and I've been telling you here, brother Benson,
mm,
once, not twice, not
mm,
thrice, that this election of 2027 will just be the same as the one which was in 2022. The one
So
which will change is the 2032 elections, if we are
yeah,
going to
because
have a new person entering there. But hii ingine nilikwambia asubuhi hii tutakuwa tu the same formula, kuja tupate watu wengine tena waanze kupigana. Mimi
kupigana
tuanze
na
kuambia
kulalamika.
nilifukuzwa, sijui nikaanza kusema nini, alianza kusema shares, sijui akaanza kusema nini.
Do you know the reason why I tend to agree with you, especially on the 2027, that we might play the same script? Because remember, the same script that played out on Uhuru Kenyatta administration, the disagreement between the Uhuru and um, and President William Ruto, is the same as what happened between President William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua. The only difference is that Rigathi Gachagua is impeached. By then,
Don't even start in Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto.
yeah.
Start with Raila Odinga and Ruto. That is where it started. You remember Raila Odinga had a falling out with Ruto. They
During
had
the
a
time,
falling out after 2009, 2010. They had a
the
falling out.
prime
You
the
remember
prime
when he
minister
was sacked, then he was brought back by
by
Kibaki.
Kibaki. Yes, that's
Then
where
they
it.
started a war. Then they started that war between them, and then it led to Ruto joining up with Uhuru to topple
Mhm.
up the government that was there. You know, that time Raila was in the government. He was
Yeah.
a prime minister at that time. So they
Mhm.
tried to topple off the government. So they toppled up the government, and they got into power. After they got into power, what happened? They were even wearing shirts and ties which were the same.
It's the same.
After that, we came to 2022. They were
Mhm.
already enemies. Now we are going to what? We go now to Ruto and Gachagua. Now
Mhm.
Ruto and Gachagua, they are enemies now. We are going to 2027. When are we
But
going to continue playing these gimmicks?
but now what usually happens is this. I think like it is a problem not only with the leaders that we have, but it is a problem with us as a country. Like it is something that has really umbrellaed us, all of us. Despite the fact that the some quarters or the population, there's a population who feel like, okay, we are thinking quite much differently. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because when when you listen to especially the leaders in opposition or everybody who wants to take um, Ruto out of power, uh, even though they have some clarity on what the reason why they want to take him off power, but you feel like what is being mentioned, or to encounter things like housing levy, to encounter things like health, and but now you find that we are not being told, you know how are you going to make sure that economic work for all? How are you going
I
to make
think
sure that?
I think the problem is, they are really afraid of saying what they are going to do because this guy is going to be able to intercede in what they are saying, then he tries to make, unajua mkiambia Ruto kile unataka kufanya anakujaga anaanza kuichukua,
but but,
but
but
really what you're saying a very good point.
yeah,
People, they are not telling us what they are going to articulate the issues. I would
yeah,
like to hear them saying how they are going to articulate these issues. But
yeah.
brother Benson, me if I was asked, Mungu
Mm.
akikuja tu aniulize unataka aje, ningesema
Mm.
aondoe hao wote watu wazee, hao watu
Yeah,
wamekuwa wakitusumbua.
yeah,
We get a new fresh of bleed of people. And
yeah,
I'm hoping so much of the young blood because this is becoming too much. We cannot be having the same things, brother Benson. After an
yeah.
election, we have
Mhm.
never had even a sit down after election campaign mode. Tunaendelea campaign mode, tunakaa
Yeah.
tena miaka ingine,
Today,
tunarudi tena election tena, tunaenda campaign mode. When will we end? Even if Gachagua and the team win,
yeah,
even if they win, I'm telling you, it is going to be a campaign trail again, because
because
the
like,
people who are going to be won, they are going to start campaigning again.
yeah, and they will say that you promise this, you promise this. And I think also some of the promises that our politicians put in place, they put promises that are not achievable within a short period of time. They're not realistic, because like when you're dealing with something like something that has been ailing a country for so long, something like let's say like the public debt, You know, it's not something that you will say that I will come and make sure that I reduce the debt. No, you have also to come up with a plan on how are you going to reduce the debt. That is one. How are you going to make sure that you create employment? How are you going to make sure that we do not borrow, especially I usually talk about the production. You know, when you look at what we are doing, you know that we are even importing basics needs,
Yeah,
basic things that we should do. If we are importing rice, we are importing things to do with flour. We are importing
onions.
almost everything, onions, and you find that we are not producing. Our agricultural sector, which is our backbone, is not doing well. That one means if we are importing everything and our production is low, what means that the cost of living is not going to go down anytime soon.
Yes, and as you're talking about that, why don't leaders focus on the things that are important to the country? You know, let me tell you, it's not that we don't have the might to produce rice. It's not that we don't have the might to produce onions. We don't. It's not that we don't have the might to produce potatoes. We have so many potatoes, but the
Mhm.
problem is, are those potatoes of standard? They're not
Yeah.
of standard. Why? Because we don't have even a processing plant which can be able to hold these potatoes so that they cannot go bad. If we had processing plants which can be able to hold these commodities, if
Mhm.
we had a way we could be able to farming the rice, we can be able to put these things in our cereal board and we can be having them stored just in
Yeah.
case when we go for a dry spell
Mhm.
or a certain time when there is drought in the country, we can be able to offload
Mhm.
these equipments even to the vulnerable families. I think that is what other countries do. They store
Mhm.
their food for the times of calamities. But for that one is the thing we are supposed to be doing. But me, what I can say, Brother Benson, if
Mhm.
a president is supposed to come in the first term, his first term, I think we should put new rules that and laws that the president must fulfill what the
Mhm.
other president was doing. He
Mhm.
must fulfill the projects that were being done by that administration to the
Yeah.
fulfillment. He
Mhm.
finishes with them before he brings to us other projects. Because now we can see there is so much of the doing of the projects that have been already been done. Let
Duplication
me
of
ask
project.
you, yeah, for example, we had the project of Zakwe Dam.
Mhm.
When did Zakwe Dam begin? Zakwe Dam began maybe around 2017,
Mhm.
2016, 2017. We are
Mhm.
still talking about Zakwe Dam, Brother Benson. And then we hear this administration has brought another dam. Why don't
Mhm.
you first finish with one dam? Finish with that Dakwa dam. We are done with it, so that we
Mhm.
go to another dam. If you leave it at half, you don't have any issues. The
Mhm.
next administration coming to finish it.
Yeah.
We had the last mile connectivity.
Mhm.
You had the last mile connectivity. Why don't we first finish with the last mile connectivity? Then we head out to another thing. We can be
Mhm.
putting visions like the way we were seeing Kibaki doing the vision 2030. He's
Mhm.
putting a vision that we be able to sustain. You know, when you put a vision, you know why a vision is important. It
It
is
it it
important because
it
it
acts
is
as
a roadmap
a
and a
roadmap.
blueprint.
Yeah.
It's also a blueprint of the country in the way that it can succeed.
Mm.
I'm a bit, you know why I cut Uhuru some slack kidogo is because he tried to fulfill the blueprint kiasi kidogo, even though
Mhm.
he lost in the track of maybe the SGR and what.
Mhm.
He really placed the blue, Lamu Port was in the blueprint of what Kibaki had brought.
Yeah.
And we had the like of the linking of the Ethiopian road, that
Mhm.
one which was linking Kenya with Tanzania to Ethiopia. I,
Mhm.
I I think if we can be having presidents who are coming, they are finishing the projects which have been done, and then after you finish,
Mhm.
then you can start to bring your own projects. We can be moving on as a country. Because Brother Benson, let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
We as a country, how many level 6 hospitals do we have in Kenya?
I don't know how
How
many of
many?
them.
The only level 6 I know is only Kenyatta. I don't know if it is level 6 now or they change it. They raise these is levels.
I don't know, like the Jaramogi, or the Russia in Kisumu. I don't know what level. I think they promoted it and they put it under parastatal right now. So I think it might be on that level.
Imagine we have 5 cities, but they don't have level 6 hospitals. They don't have referrals.
You see,
We have a country where we don't have hospitals which have referral. But when you get sick in Kisumu or Nakuru, or you get sick in anywhere, you need to be referred to Kenyatta Hospital.
Let me tell you something, Joseph, and this is something that I've come to conclude, especially the health sector in Kenya. The health sector in Kenya is so much complex that I still don't see anybody who is going to solve it. The reason why I'm saying that is one, if you look at the developed world, especially where uh, people are developed, when it comes to issues of, let's say, like the hospital facilities, you find that the government does not own those facilities. What happens is that the government will be more focused on how to control the sometimes like you hear when they campaign in US, we are going to make sure the cost of the insulin and cost of this medication go down. They are going to target the insurance company and all of that. That is the campaign that they have, but you don't see them talking about the hospital facility. The reason is this, and it's something that I've always having a conversation. I've had a conversation with somebody who has been in that sector, a friend of mine. You know, what usually happens is that when it comes to payment of the staffs, because it's in the private sector, and there's that rate. So you find that each and every hospital will bargain for the people that they employ. So you find that when it comes to payment of the doctors, the government is not involved. So there's no way in which that you say that in a whole country, all doctors are going on strike. It's not possible because they are employed under different health facilities. So if they strike, they will only strike in that hospital because it's kind of like a private entity. That project will deal with them as other hospitals or other health facilities will be operating. So that's where another problem where we have that. Another problem where we have when it comes to medication. You know, if it reaches a point whereby the government now provide medication, it now becomes a business. You know, that's why you find even the doctors who are employed in this government hospital, they will tell you go to such a pharmacy, say you are going to get that medication. Yet you cannot get it in government facility. Do you know the reason why? Because once it is in government, those who are working here, they're going to be business. But I don't think if you are employed in a private sector, you can try even to do that. So our health sector, despite the fact that we still say Isha and everything, for us to work, yeah, for us to work, there must be a broader picture. Another thing also that it's making it not work, because like in the developed countries, there's what we call the purchasing of insurance. There's the one for government. You would get affordable for the government. That one you can purchase affordably, you're paying less to the government. But those who are wealthy, sometimes they don't purchase the one for government, they go for their own insurance. So you find that when you go for your own insurance, you find that it will be very quite much easier for you to access your doctors and any doctor that you want, because the insurance will be giving you the group of doctors that you can see or that you can attend to you in that particular area. So I don't think that as a country we've reached such complex or such understandable or understanding of the health sector, how it works. So it will take us time. Even if we president bring share of the best, it can kind of like move a distance, but I don't think it can realize that uh, where we can say that the healthcare system is now working. I
I, I
doubt.
think I think also I confer with you, because you see, when you go to look at the doctors who are always in these national hospitals or in the public sector, you find them, they have opened clinics which are private. So
Yes.
you find most of them, they are treating people. That's why you heard Uhuru was complaining about them. Another the day they went for strike, you remember when he
Yeah.
was talking somewhere there in KICC saying, ah, madaktari wanataka kuja kukaa kama wanataka kuni blackmail, but they know the amount of money they are getting through those clinics. I think
Yes.
if we wanted to be serious, Brother Benson, we can become serious. And we
Yes.
can get, the government can be able to open up these facilities in each and every county, because we have the money to do that. If we
Mm-hmm.
open up a level 5 hospital in every county, and in the
Mm-hmm.
cities we open up level 6 hospitals, then
Mm-hmm.
we employ these people who are under the counties, we bring them back to the national government, and
Yeah.
we be able to the government will be paying them all together, like the way they do teachers. No,
Mm.
teachers are paid as one. Why did the teachers refuse to go to counties? Because they could have not been having that togetherness. Ungekuwa unasikia walimu
Yeah.
wa Kirinyaga kaunti wa Kigoma, walimu wa nini wa Kisumu kaunti ya Wagomi.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is why they refused, and that
Mm-hmm.
is why you see there was togetherness. But the doctors, they were devolved also. I
Yeah.
think, and we play so much with our health. I don't know why Kenyans we like to play with our health.
I don't know.
The politicians like to play so much with our health, and them when they get sick, they go to these
They fly
good
out.
hospitals,
They
Akina
fly out of the country.
Kakare, Mata. You find them flying out. I think they should even be revoked those licenses zao kwenda huko nje.
Mm.
Waambiwe kama utagonjeka unapelekwa kwanza hiyo hospitali iko hapa karibu na constituency yako, so that
Mm.
they can be able to uplift these ones. I think that is the only way we can be able to uplift them.
Okay.
So these things are sad things happening in our country. Also, you look at industrialization.
Yeah.
Every county has something that they offer. You go to every county, you'll find they have something that they offer in their county. Why
Mm-hmm.
don't we have any single factory that has been built? Tell me any factory that has been built. The only factories that I've seen their building is maybe in Tatu City, because I've
Mm-hmm.
been watching the videos of Tatu City. And when
Mm-hmm.
you go there, you find the factories that are being built more so as foreigners. Because I also heard even now they have brought even a plant there in was it Tatu City or was it in Koza? No, it was Tatu. They have
Mm-hmm.
brought a plant which can be able to manufacture nitrogen, oxygen,
Yeah.
and carbon
Mm-hmm.
dioxide.
That's
So,
good.
but you find that is a plant which it's been developed by foreigners.
Mm-hmm.
So they have taken up everything. That's why we get angry when they are taking up these things. But what is our government doing? Unajua mimi hata brother Benson amesema tu kitu moja.
Mm-hmm.
Serikali ikitaka kumaliza mambo ya unemployment ni vile hawapendi, hawatapata watu wa kushinda wakipiga nao kampeni.
Uh,
Wakitaka kumaliza unemployment kitu rahisi sana. They build factories in every county. If you
yeah.
build factories in every county, brother Benson, will you have the rural urban migration?
And now.
You clearly won't have the rural urban migration. People will be saying, unajua mimi kwanza napenda sana nikikaa kule Kirinyaga nasikia hiyo upepo ya Kirinyaga. Sasa
Mm.
kuja Nairobi nasikia Nairobi ikiwa na nini. But in Kirinyaga we have so many things that we can do. Do you know personal people they have opened factories in Kirinyaga, the
Mm.
ones we were telling you about flour and all these kind of things we were telling you. Do you know how
Mm.
many people it has employed? Like that one Kavagara you always hear. It has
Yeah.
employed thousands of people. Go to Spencer, it has employed thousands of people. So I think that is the major issue that we are having. We really have governments that don't care about us. But if we had people who care about us, even every county could have been built something. I was loving this thing they had started to come up with economic zones. You remember the economic zones? You remember the economic zone? Yeah, the economic zones that were happening in the country. I was very much needed to see about them, but now I don't know what happened. But we leave it to the experts who are going to play this. We are mute.
Opportunity to welcome Mr. Barak, and I was seeing I'm a good friend, very lost friend of ours. HFG is talking about and why Uhuru, former president, attacked President William Ruto yesterday. That is politics, and that's what also we discussed about it yesterday. But we still have good panelists here. Mr. Barak is here with us. We also have Marco Bura is here too. We can share our views on that, especially on the question that has been asked with our good friend. Um, uh, uh, Barak, how are you doing?
Hi, Brother Ben. I'm doing well, and
Yeah,
I hope you're also doing well.
I'm
And
doing fine.
I also say hi to Brother Joseph there in Makobura.
Wewe wacha tukukaribisha, ndio wewe ndio umekuja saa hizi. Hebu jaribu kutatua hii swali ambayo imeulizwa hapa, and why
How are you? How are you? Wacha nisalimike. How are you?
okay. Hebu jaribu kutupatie swali imeulizwa, and why Uhuru attacked President William Ruto yesterday.
Nikiangalia hiyo hiyo, unajua kwa sababu ya kuweka why ndio inakaa swali, lakini unajua swali nitakana ishe na question mark. Hii yake imeisha na full. Sasa sijui kama ni statement ama ni swali, so tunaweza kuwa tunajaribu kujibu statement. Anyway, jana tuliongea hii maneno ya Uhuru Kenyatta aliyekuwa rais Uhuru Kenyatta kuongea mambo ya rais wa sasa Bwana William Ruto, na tukajaribu kusema ya kwamba, and I think what we are saying yesterday is very true, that if Matiang'i was the one who was now talking about what Uhuru was talking about, it could have given him mileage, because now today Ruto's supporters could have been now addressing Matiang'i. But now
Matiang'i,
look at what is happening. They are now addressing the former president,
the former president.
which is not adding value to Matiang'i's political journey. But imagine if it could have been Matiang'i who was now mentioning the things that Uhuru were mentioning yesterday. That could have given him a mileage. So Uhuru went overboard, because as a retired president, I think he overstepped his mandate as a retired president. Because once you're a retired president, you're supposed to be a unifying figure in a country and not a divisive figure, because you served your term, and now you handed over power in a democratic system.
Yeah.
You allow your predecessor, your successor to lead. People cannot lead the same way. That's why we have politicians compete depending on their manifesto.
Yeah.
So Ruto is leading according to what the way that he believes is the best. And during Uhuru's time, he also had his own challenges, and he was leading according to how he felt was the best way. So I think he coming to try to poke holes on the current regime, I think is not appropriate. He could have allowed the person that want to challenge President Ruto in 2027 to be the one to poke holes on the current regime, because it will add him more value to his presidential ambition, as opposed to the former president, because the former president is not planning to vie at any political. So any attempt of poking holes on the current regime
Yeah.
is an exercise in futility. It does not add him any political mileage.
But maybe, Barack, if you look at, if you flip the coin, and now you are seeing how the allies of the president are firing back, especially at the president, to the extent whereby, if you listen to Arun Cheriot on how he was addressing the president, let me just I have it somewhere here. This is what Arun Cheriot, the majority leader in the Senate, I quote him. He said that yesterday a certain man, I quote him, that is now Arun Cheriot responding to the president. Yesterday a certain man, in bracket Uhuru Kenyatta, spoke, and I was deeply angered. This is someone who voted for this is someone we voted for and respected as the president of Kenya for 10 years, yet he never set a foot in Dadaab, not even once. Yeah, not even once. Now he's rushing here to tell us that certain programs like Linda Mama are not working. But when you and your friend Matiang'i were in position of power, bodies of innocent citizens were being found in River Yala, in forest, and people were being abducted. What did you do? That is what now Aaron Cheruiyot is I quote, that is what Aaron Cheruiyot is saying.
Let me ask you, Brother Ben, in that statement, where is a lie?
I don't
You
know.
know,
I'm not the author. I'm
you know,
just quoting.
you know,
Yeah.
Cheruyot is just stating facts, but in a political way.
Mhm.
because you know, during Uhuru regime,
Mhm.
people were being killed and dumped in rivers. That's a fact.
Mhm.
People were being abducted. Remember, Bijiwe was never been found up to date. We don't know where he was taken, and he
Mhm.
was abducted during Uhuru's time.
Mhm.
He was abducted in the CBD. Nobody knows where he was taken. We know the likes of lawyer Willie Mwangi and his client and the taxi driver. We know their story.
Mhm.
So what Aaron Cheruiyot is stating is they are just facts. Now,
Mhm.
when Uhuru Kenyatta, with his status as a statesman and a former president,
Yeah.
decided to poke holes on the current regime, he invited this kind of accusations.
Mhm.
He was inviting these kinds of talks from junior politicians, because you cannot compare Aaron Cheruiyot and Uhuru Kenyatta. Aaron Cheruiyot is just a majority leader in the Senate.
Mhm.
You cannot compare him with a retired president. Their political status is totally different.
Mhm.
But when he decided to do that, obvious Ruto's dogs were expected to back at him.
Mhm.
That is why I still say that if it were Matiang'i, it could have
Mhm.
been better, because they
Better.
could have been backing at Matiang'i right now, not at Uhuru
Mm.
Kenyatta. So
Yeah.
when Uhuru Kenyatta decided to do that, it was
Mm.
expected, yeah, because we have sycophants in the of politicians, and the likes of Arion Cheruiyot, Farouk Kibet, Oscar Sudi. You had them all of them backing today. They were
All
backing
of
this.
them, today went gun blazing on former president.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like now Ruto released all his dogs to back
Mm.
at Uhuru Kenyatta.
Mhm.
So it was expected. Yeah. So I think Uhuru Kenyatta did not do justice to Matiang'i. He could have scripted those things and gave to Matiang'i to come
Mm.
and read them out.
But do you think maybe there was something that maybe president was trying to do, especially to lay grounds for Matiang'i, bearing in mind that Matiang'i has never been in any political party. Two, also this was a special NDC for the party, whereby he was coming after court battles with the party. He's also coming after they had like serious disagreement with his deputy, who is now the current president. Now he was just trying to make uh, put house in order so that by the time he's handling party to Matiang'i, who might not be experienced in terms of party politics or heading a party, now hands the party when the party is in order.
Jubilee will never be in order. That's number one.
Yeah.
Number two,
Yeah.
even though Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto had differences
Mhm.
in the run-up to 2022 election, they had already made truce. Remember when Ruto went to visit Uhuru Kenyatta in Ichaweri, and
Mhm.
after that, Ruto, when Ruto went to visit Uhuru Kenyatta at Ichaweri, and
Yeah.
after that, Ruto appointed his appointment in government.
Yeah.
Lee Kinyanjui, William Kafogo,
Mm.
Mutahi Kagwe, they were appointed into government. And up to date, they are serving in government. And remember when Uhuru also went to State House and he was taken at
Round.
the tour of State House just to
Mhm.
see what is happening, the changes that have been there since he left. And they were having a cordial engagement with William Ruto. So I don't think that was the issue. So you remember there's this belief that Ruto was trying to take away
Jubilee.
Jubilee from
Mhm.
Uhuru using Kanini Kega and Sabina Chege. Remember, they were not there in
Mhm.
yesterday's delegates conference. So this is more of political parties also come with this political party allocation, where
Mhm.
these party leaders are holding on to these parties so that they can benefit from political parties allocation. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
And on now, if you look at that now, on the other hand, Matiang'i is not an experienced politician. That's number one. But
Mhm.
number two, if you want to make a presidential candidate, then he must start coming out. We don't want a scenario like in 2002 when Uhuru was introduced late in the evening as a presidential candidate, and
Uh,
people could not take him serious because this child, what is he telling us? So introduce Matiang'i early enough. Let him
mhm.
try now to swim in the murky waters of Kenyan politics. Wacha atukanwe na yeye aanze kutukanana, kwa sababu that is how we are used to think of Kenyan politics. Because even if you look at him, yeah, he's so I don't know, he's not portraying himself as a Kenyan politician. I don't know which politics he's playing. So allow him. Watch answer Mapema. We are in 2025. We only having 2 months.
Yeah.
Towards the 2026, we will be 1 year away from election.
Yeah.
When is he going to start now swimming in these murky waters of Kenyan politics? Kama
Mm.
hata achiliwa mapema, so anafaa achiliwa mapema, aanze kuzoea mawimbi ya siasa, aanze
Mawimbi.
kuzoea hii mvua kali ya siasa, imnyeshe mapema, azoee. By the time tunafika 2027, he'll be now ripe
Eh,
for leadership. But wakiendelea
aku,
kumpampa hivi, he's still
akuja
in diapers in terms of Kenyan politics.
akuja patane na President William Ruto amnyoe kabisa katika
Mpaka ainue mkono.
we nani unajua president wa hiyo wewe nani, nilikwambia bana hao watu wasitubebe upala. By the way, now that's just by the way, you know, when you look at the political history, especially of political parties, the political parties or the political parties that have gotten an opportunity to run the country, you find that immediately their tenure ends, you know, they lose popularity, and also, you know, they tend to disappear from active politics. And now we are seeing a Jubilee that served for almost 5 years, 5 years now, with his party leader still coming up and say that, okay, we want to revamp this party and make it a bigger party, you know. And you have also Matiang'i, this is his first time being involved in the party politics, and, you know, coming to a party that has done his part in the administration, lost the grounds, good percentage of it, and like it is now something is being built, and something also is being uh, planted, watered here. Matiang'i, how will they fight building the party and also giving Matiang'i that experience of politics and reach a point whereby like he can have like significance in the political murky waters of Kenya?
First of all, Brother Ben, let me assure you this thing. Jubilee will not survive
Yeah.
in Mount Kenya. You know, in Mount Kenya region, the common mwananchi of Mount Kenya have already accepted DCP as
Yeah.
their political party.
Mm-hmm.
So Uhuru is trying to revive. I saw the as a headline in Nation that flogging a dead horse. Uhuru is trying to revive Jubilee
Mm-hmm.
with the intention of taking on DCP within Mount Kenya region.
Mm.
That is not going to happen because the people already have identified themselves with DCP.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The second thing, people who are aligning themselves with Jubilee within Mount Kenya regions are people who are benefiting financially from Uhuru Kenyatta. So
Mm-hmm.
they are not willing to let go of that. Yeah. If you look at them, you can single out those individuals who are from Mount Kenya who are still holding on to Jubilee. They are beneficiaries
I
of their
saw
financial.
Honorable Gunjiri Wambogo.
Mujiri Wambogo, Jeremiah Kioni, I don't
Kioni.
know, Zach Mudia. These are people who are benefiting from Uhuru Kenyatta financially, and they're not willing to, because number one, all of them lost elections.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a job right now. And if they're running small businesses, those businesses are dependent on the Kenyatta family for survival. So they cannot let go of that favor they are receiving from Kenyatta family. So that's why they are holding on into Kenyatta. Now, if you look at Matiang'i, he's not a politician, and he does not understand. And I don't think if he has really hired a political advisor to advise him on the dynamics of Kenyan politics, and that's why he's also there. He's also there dependent on Uhuru's finances in during campaign, because he does not have the financial muscles to run a presidential campaign. So he is there hoping that Uhuru Kenyatta will channel his finances to in his campaign, so that he can manage to traverse the country. Because running a successful presidential campaign in Kenya without money, it is not possible.
It's not possible.
And that's why you see even within the united opposition, hawajitokezi sana. Kwa sababu gani? There is no finances Yeah. And remember, if you look at how Ruto managed to beat Raila and Uhuru hands down,
Yeah.
because he started running his campaign in 2018 and he
Mm.
was actively every week, every
Mm.
weekend running a campaign
A
for
campaign.
5 years. Yeah. And that's how he managed to beat them hands down. Yeah.
And you know, there's something also that I don't know whether you've seen it with the Fred Otikengo Matiang'i, which I think like with this age and era, he ought to have invested even before declaring his ambition for presidency. You know, he doesn't have any social media handle that is being operated by his people, especially, you know, I tend to think he doesn't have that. And you know, like majority of time, social media has become a very, very, very crucial tool, especially to communicate to the people that you want to lead, and also to study what are the minds of people thinking. You know, you can post that, what do you think of my presidency? You know, from the comment section, you could know the reaction of the people, which he's not using as we speak today. He doesn't have that vibrant platform in social media that to interact with the people.
Hii ni mawaidha alipewa na Uhuru. You remember Uhuru ran away from social media
Mm.
when things became very hot for him.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I'm saying I don't know if he has really hired a political advisor, because he urgently need a political advisor if he wants to become a presidential candidate
Mm.
because you know Matiang'i is relying on very, very junior people in Jubilee and Uhuru Kenyatta.
Mm.
People like Angel Mbudia, people like bloggers who are telling him now you are the best, and the people I don't know which people are telling him, because initially before
Mm.
Gachagua rebranded himself and became a political the face of opposition, people
Mm.
were really contemplating on Matiang'i. But
Yeah.
right now, I think Gachagua has overtaken them in this game, and right now he's coming out as the face of opposition. Even
Mm.
if everybody is speaking, people
Mm.
are still listening to what will Gachagua say about this one, because he
Mm.
has he has branded himself and
Mm.
and 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 and, and, and cemented his position within the opposition to come
Mm.
out clearly as the face of the opposition. So wengine wote wanakuja, they are supposed to line up behind him.
Mm.
So
Okay,
I
go ahead.
think Matiang'i, he did not capture the moment,
Mm.
and right now he has lost it, because even if you look at the so-called opinion polls
Mhm.
trying to rank opposition leaders, sahii ametupwa nyuma sana, but initially alikuwa anakuja mbele, because he has never been a politician in the first place. He has never been elected, and it's
Mm.
taking too long to make up his mind, and that's why he's coming out clearly as a project of Kenyatta. Yeah, because
And
and you know, once Kenyans realize that you are a project, I
mm,
can assure you, they will not be your friends.
how because you know, I don't I think where Matiang'i kind of like had a misstep was the idea of him even accepting to be the candidate, if at all he will be given handed over the political party of Jubilee to him. I think that's what is going to fail Matiang'i. With all the ratings that he used to get from the Gen Z and all that, is going to go down in the river. You know, the reason why I'm telling you this is this, because, like, you know, our political parties will always be judged with their past. You know, that is one. Secondly, these political parties, they're usually personalities behind them. You know, there's no way in which you will convince somebody, even if Matiang'i become the face of the Jubilee. There's no way in which Matiang'i is going to replace the personality of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta in Jubilee. There's no way, even if he's given that a presidential ticket to be like a flag bearer for that party, he's not going to replace that face.
Uh,
The same
can
way,
I?
yeah, can come in.
I wanted to say something. I think
Oh.
just the same way you're saying that it is not easy for uh, Matiang'i to take, for example, the position of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, the former president. I think each and every person has their own their own way of dealing with things, their own way of their own style of leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, yes, Matiang'i has to be aggressive so that he can be accepted by the people. He has to come out and fit in the political limelight. But again, I really don't think he has tough times, because uh, what is in the minds of the people is what he did. He had partly interacted with the people in the running, in issues to do with governance and running the country. So that is what really, uh, there's that bit that people know of him. And if he's not going to come out to play the kind of politics that is being played in Kenya,
Mm-hmm.
one that involves a lot of accusation, a lot of abusive languages, a lot of all those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I look it this way: if he maintains his consistency,
Mm-hmm.
if he maintains his focus, and he comes out as a serious candidate,
Mm-hmm.
still, whether he get into abusive, the common political languages that we do see,
Mm-hmm.
I think still he'll be embraced. The only
No,
challenge is having.
Marco Bura, let me. There's something that here we are talking about here. Forget about the personality of Matiang'i. Matiang'i has made a name, but now what will be the problem here? The problem here will be the baggage that Jubilee is coming with. There is no way in which, even today, with all his acceptability and votability that Matiang'i has, if you are under the Jubilee, you will not erase that personality of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. That somebody will wake up and associate Jubilee
Yeah,
yeah. That is something that
that that
will not.
that is true, and I agree with that, because when the people of Kenya see him and he comes with Jubilee, he'll be said that is a project, and it's a narrative that is already on the ground. Today, not once, we've seen lawyer Wakili, what is his name? This advocate Njiru.
Mm-hmm.
In so many times, he has always come out to say that Matiang'i is a project of Uhuru, and in his statements, he has always insisted or clarified that why is it that is coming with Jubilee? Why is it that is coming? The former president is fighting for him, is bringing him on the limelight. Why is it that he does not have a proper plan of doing his own campaigns and all those things that he wants in the field of politics? That is a question that has always been raised. So if maybe I was to advise him, of course, I would have advised him to form a different political party. But again, I think he decided to work with Jubilee because politics and campaign requires a lot of finance. And that kind of finance, uh, it's not everyone who has it. So it could be that with the Jubilee Party, remember, Jubilee Party has been getting money from the political parties, um, the money that the political parties do get. And maybe they want to use that to revamp the party. It is easier for him to get an assistance from a party that has been in existence than forming a party from ground and building it with in at a point when he do not really have a maximum enough finance that should then help him in his campaign. So yes, it is not going to be easy for him because he'll be viewed or seen as a project. But again, he has to come out clear and give a better, clear clarification to the people of Kenya, so that the tag of sponsorship or project would not be labeled to him. And partly that is what affected Raila Amolo Odinga in the last general election. Barak, maybe you can give us your final remarks.
Thank you, Mark. Let me just mention something about what you've said. If you look at, when Moi retired in 2002, Kibaki got the presidency on a silver platter because the country was ripe for new leadership, new regime, and the country was ready to experiment a different leadership from Kanu's regime. And that's why Kibaki got it on a silver platter. Now, if you look at Uhuru Kenyatta, for Uhuru Kenyatta to become the president, Uhuru Kenyatta was the party leader of KANU. And because of the baggages that KANU had on the history of this country, people did not want to hear the name KANU anywhere. So Uhuru had to resign from KANU and form a new political outfit that is called the National Alliance Party, TNA. And that is what he used to win the presidency in 2013. Remember, as long as he had resigned from KANU, people did not associate him with KANU's baggages. But when he was the leader of KANU, people were associating him with the KANU's baggages. Now, look at 2022. The Jubilee regime had a lot of baggages, and Uhuru and William Ruto had to run away from Jubilee and form his own political party. Remember, Ruto was formed UDA when he was the deputy president of Uhuru Kenyatta under Jubilee. He did not resign, and he was the deputy president in Jubilee, but the leader of UDA. So people did not associate him with the baggages of Jubilee, and he broke away from Jubilee's baggages, and he was seen as a mweupe kama pamba, as clean as snow, and he was voted in under UDA. So that is the same thing you are saying right now, that for Matiang'i should not associate himself with Jubilee because the baggages of Jubilee are so many. And remember, people are just even reminding Uhuru today that we have not forgotten about how Jubilee went on the borrowing spree until they even crashed the borrowing ceiling. And Kenya was left under a huge debt that we are still struggling to pay up to now. Remember the atrocities committed by Jubilee, the human rights violation, the abductions, the killings, the extrajudicial killings. We have not forgotten how economy even suffered under Jubilee. So if Matiang'i is serious on his candidature, he should not allow himself to be associated by these baggages of Jubilee. He should break free. I don't think if he's afraid of Ruto, remember when Uhuru resigned as the chairperson of KANU, urafiki wake na Moi haukuisha because Moi understood this young man wants to be the president. And KANU, he cannot be the president under KANU. So Moi did not stop being his friend. Their friendship went beyond until when Moi passed on in 2020. So urafiki wa Matiang'i hauwezi isha, na urafiki wa Matiang'i na Uhuru hauwezi isha kwa sababu Matiang'i ameenda kwa chama ingine. Matiang'i will be sourcing for the better option where he will not be associated by the baggages of Jubilee. That is how a smart politician behaves. But akitaka kukua associated kwa sababu ya pesa, then I don't think hapo kuna urafiki. Itakuwa tu maybe ni survival ya Jubilee. Na utapata kwamba Jubilee will get MPs from Kisii community but nowhere else, and Matiang'i will not be the president. Kwa sababu gani? Jubilee iko na historia mbaya hapa Kenya, na Wakenya hawataki kusikia hiyo jina Jubilee. If Matiang'i wants to become the president, let him form his own political party, let him name it anything, but sio Jubilee ile ambayo tunajua, sababu Jubilee committed a lot of atrocities in this country, and it is only that the current regime did not have the audacity to take action against the Jubilee leadership. Kwa sababu kama ni nchi zingine, kama hata huko Zambia watu wanasifu, sijui Malawi, people come in power and they take action against the former regime, the previous regime. Kwa sababu gani? Of the atrocities they committed. So I hope that Matiang'i will get proper advice from his close friends or even from his political advisor if he has any, because Jubilee will not serve him justice. Jubilee will derail his ambitions, and I can assure in 2027 he might not even feature anywhere. That is my final remark. Thank you so much, Bwana Marco Bura, and thank you so much those who are doing us in the comment section. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Mr. Barak, for finding time to be with us. To our viewers as well, thank you so much. I want to take this opportunity to say a big thank you for all of you who have been with us. I want to take this opportunity to wish you all a blessed night, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening from wherever you're watching us from. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. See you again tomorrow.